Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Today I'm going to be going over my potential League starter builds for Necropolis League. This is not a list of you should definitely League start this build. This is more along the lines of things that I'm interested in trying to play or experiment with in the upcoming League. And this is the fourth time I've done this, picking a build for each Ascendancy class, allowing you to vote for the Ascendancy in the comments of this video. And then, as I have done the last 3 leagues, I will set up a wheel like this one from last league, and then I will spin it on the league start to determine what Ascendancy I will start and what build I will play. I leave it up to you guys to vote in the comments to weight the wheel, and we'll spin it as the queue is going down and Necropolis League begins. You're also about to see the entire bit of planning that I have for this league as well. I don't make POBs. I have concepts for the Ascendancy class. I have a skill that I want to use, and then from there on, I just wing it. I much prefer experimenting with things in game and just seeing what happens rather than building out a full build plan. So I don't have build guides for any of these, with one exception, as I have played it in the past. But let's jump into it with a Slayer. For Slayer, I will play Rain of Arrows. Now this, since I'm going to be playing in a private league with members of my community, I am expecting that we will probably happen upon a Lionized Glare bow, and something I've always wanted to do with that is use Overwhelm to increase the base crit chance on that, and then probably play Rain of Arrows with Headsman or the Culling Strike damage, whatnot, no Reflect from Fizz damage, and then maybe get the Frenzy Charge thing, or maybe go into Brutal Fervor for Leech. I'm not sure what I would do there, but definitely Rain of Arrows is what I would league start there, and that would be in anticipation of finally getting to create this build that I've wanted to play, just I have never gotten the bow in SSF. Next up is Champion. Last league, I played Champion probably the most with Toxic Rain, and I have not played an Impale build or a Steel Skill build, but what I am thinking is that I try and kind of replicate my totem build with Toxic Rain, but instead I want to use Lightning Arrow of Electrocution totems. So this will probably be a Lightning Arrow build that I supplement with Lightning Arrow of Electrocution totems, which can... I'm going to do some on-the-fly editing, so I don't got to do it later. Lightning Arrow of Electrocution can stick into an enemy, and the damage is repeated a number of times after sticking in. So the idea is I can drop down a couple totems, they can stick these in enemies and repeatedly zap a bunch of times. And since there is a maximum number of lightning arrows stuck in an enemy, I probably wouldn't want to use Lightning Arrow of Electrocution myself. I'd probably just use the normal Lightning Arrow. And I haven't played with Lightning Arrow since it was changed more recently, so I think that would be a fun one. Then, to complete the trio of Duelist bow builds, if I play Gladiator, I'm going to play a Bleed bow build using Puncture and maybe Split Arrow. I don't know what I'd use for clear, but definitely big punctures for bosses with some ensnaring arrow stuff. Get the Challenger charges, have Frenzy Charge generation, get big bleeds, bleed explosions from gratuitous violence. Never played Bleed bow build, so that is on the list. And I honestly don't know of anything else you could really play with a Gladiator that is good. So if you want me to league start Bleed Bow Glad, comment below this video you would like to see the Gladiator. Next up is the Ascendant. Now this is an Ascendancy class that I think about never. And the build selection for Ascendant still has not changed as a result. We will go with a self-cast Exsanguinate build that I would love to tinker with, so it would have to be a Gladiator for the physical dot. Then whatever else here feels like it fits. Maybe I could go into Trickster. There's more damage there. But I've been intrigued by the idea of a self-cast Exsanguinate ever since it has been brought up to me. So that is still the plan for the Ascendant, were I to play that. Onto the Marauders. For Juggernaut, I still have never gotten to play Bone Shatter. So if I were to play a Juggernaut, I absolutely want to play Bone Shatter. I know it gets this Unbreakable node, which is crazy. You can get endurance charges. I'm not sure exactly where I would go with this because I don't really watch build guides, so I don't know how this actually 100% works. I just know I need lots of armor for it. So maybe something looking like this, or I go Resolute Technique and then not need that and can do Unstoppable or get the physical damage reduction for endurance charges and be super tanky. But the plan for Juggernaut is absolutely Bone Shatter. Next is Berserker. Now, there's a new unique that is being introduced in Necropolis League called Ravenous Passion. Causes you to gain rage after spending a total of 200 mana, but rage grants cast speed instead of attack speed and spell damage instead of attack damage. So what I want to do with the Berserker is get the max rage and then triple the effects of rage using Rite of Ruin, and then probably get the Warcry buff. Well, actually, Flawless Savagery doesn't specify attacks, so maybe Flawless Savagery. Blitz charges I wouldn't want, maybe not Warbringer, because I have a way to generate rage, and Exerts don't do well with spells. So maybe something like Aspect of Carnage, and then I use the Ravenous Passion helmet and probably do something maybe with a Divine Ire with crazy cast speed, lots of extra damage. I'm going to need a lot of life regeneration, but given that it should be fairly simple to spend 200 mana, and I should be able to keep gaining rage, and hopefully I don't have to worry about that degen too much, but having my rage degen on me could be pretty bad, but I wouldn't need to hit enemies, right, to get rage. All I have to do is spend mana. So if I start taking damage from Rite of Ruin, I just spam my skills, spend the mana, and I'm not 100% like locked in on the spell choice of Divine Ire. That's just what jumped out, and it could benefit from the flat physical damage if I've dealt a crit recently from Flawless Savagery. I think that would be interesting to go with. Up next is Chieftain. For Chieftain, I want to play Righteous Fire. Now, would you believe me if I told you that I've never played a dedicated Righteous Fire build? It is true, and I think that's what I want to go with. Probably this Namahu thing for the jewels to convert things to fire damage. But play Righteous Fire. Make it work. Can be really tanky. Getting the max fire res, also applying to cold and lightning. Stacking a bunch of fire res and life recovery so that I can play Righteous Fire and just see how it goes. Next, we have the Inquisitor. For Inquisitor, I want to play a crit firestorm of pelting. Probably something looking like this. Maybe I don't need to go into crit with Inevitable Judgment, Righteous Providence, but that's where I'm leaning at the moment. Probably don't mess with any of the Battle Mage or Zeal stuff, but lots of extra damage there. Go big crits. Use Firestorm of Pelting, which rains down lots of smaller flaming bolts, but this is being buffed from a maximum of 8 Firestorms to a maximum of 10, and it might still get the additional 2 from quality. That seems like it would be fun to play around with, so that is the plan for Inquisitor. The Hierophant build has not changed from last time. It is still going to be a Glacial Cascade Totem build. Maybe also experimenting with Glacial Cascade of the Fissure, probably something looking like this, but I haven't seen Glacial Cascade doing much. Archmage can no longer support brand skills, so it kind of destroyed my favorite Hierophant archetype there. And I haven't done anything with spell totems in quite a while, so I'm interested to see how this goes and see if I can make something work with Glacial Cascade. For Guardian, I have a build I've played before, Absolution, though I did not play Absolution on Guardian before the Guardian rework, giving Radiant Crusade, Unwavering Crusade, Bastion of Hope still really good, and Time of Need. Something that I know will work with a Guardian, given that SRS is being nerfed. I'm going to go with Absolution here, because I know it's going to crush, get me through up to red maps. Every single one of these builds I will play up to at least red maps on the league start. But leveling a Guardian also comes with additional perks potentially, as it can be converted into an Aurabot for group play should I need an Aurabot. There's also this Harmony of Purpose thing, lowering enemies' elemental resistances while in the Link Beam. Not played around with Link skills because I don't think I've played in a group league, trade league, where I could play with other people since Link skills have been a thing. I've been stuck in SSF and Ruthless before that, so maybe we could get around to playing with some of this other stuff, but otherwise it's just going to be a bread and butter Guardian, stack the auras, stack the block, and have a bunch of minions crush stuff. I'm certain it will still work fantastically. On to the witch builds. For Occultist, I would like to play Poisonous Concoction. This will probably be the normal Poisonous Concoction, not the new transfigured bouncing version, but I love the idea of getting the Plague Bearer up, especially on a league start with an Occultist, and being able to explode enemies. And since I'd be scaling chaos damage, it scales the damage that the enemies do when they explode if they have a curse on them with Profane Bloom. Very strong build, lots of damage. Poisonous Concoction will definitely do well with an Occultist. I've only ever played Poisonous Concoction on a Pathfinder, so I'd be excited to mess around with the Occultist and the Plague Bearer there. For Elementalist, I have a build that I've already played before. I played a lot of Elementalist last league as well with the Burning Arrow build that I made. What I want to do with Elementalist is play Fire Trap, and not an Ignite Fire Trap, a Burning Ground Fire Trap. So you get Mastermind of Discord, you get Heart of Destruction, so the AoE, while you don't have Convergence, gets up and you have insane area with the Fire Trap. We get Bastion of Elements so that I can get a Dawnbreaker and I not lose block from taking damage because I have Bastion of Elements. And since I won't be scaling the Ignites or anything, I will get Liege of the Primordial and get a couple of summoned golems to go alongside of it. This build I have a build guide for. One of my favorite builds I've ever played, and I would love to revisit the Fire Trap. So I have that on Elementalist. Then there's the Necromancer, which is being changed. Mindless Aggression has more minion life and minion damage on here. Bone Barrier gives minions the ability to leech life to you, and minions gain life as extra energy shield. Unholy Might's being changed as well. Converts all fizz damage to chaos and apply withered on hit, which is something I think I would like to do, because what I want to do here is play with summon skeletons of archers and toy around with Dark Pact. And then if I could make the physical damage from the skeletons convert to chaos and apply wither. Dark Pact, I believe, does chaos damage. I don't even know. That's how much I planned for this. Yes, Dark Pact sacrifices 8% of skeleton's life to deal that much chaos damage. And if the minions are applying wither on hit, that it will buff the chaos damage. Unholy Might didn't used to have this wither on hit, so this would be something new to explore, but minion builds are not my forte. Probably use Mistress of Sacrifice here, and probably Commander of Darkness as well, and see if I can make something happen. I'm confident I can get it to red maps. And I want to go with the archers for this because the basic skeletons use a melee attack, and then skeleton mages are going to spam projectiles of random elemental types, and I want the physical damage converted to chaos from Unholy Might. And if they are ranged, they can hit targets at a distance. They won't need to be on top of them. So that's the plan. Use Summon Skeletons of Archers to inflict Wither, and Dark Pact to do chaos damage. Seems like it could be fun. Shadows. First, we've got an Assassin. This is a build that has been on the list before, one that I really want to play, which is a Poison Spectral Throw, Dagger Throw build. So this one's coming back because I played a bit with Assassin last league with Lightning Tendrils, Lightning Conduit of the Heavens, crazy nonsense that happened. But I still really would like to play this Poison Spectral Throw build. So again, it returns to the list of possibilities. I don't know if it would be good, but it also would open up Plague Bearer for easily clearing maps, and I think there's some strong potential there. It would definitely be a fun project to build and put together in Necropolis League. For Trickster, I plan to play one of the builds I did not get to that I wanted to last league. That is using Blight of Contagion. Grab one step ahead, Polymath, could get the Frenzy charges, but I don't think I'd have a way to generate Frenzy charges using Blight of Contagion. The idea with Blight of Contagion is to use Contagion to spread the damage of the Blight, which seems like it could be really, really good, and you wouldn't have to run around with the Essence Drain trying to hit the single enemy and spread it. I could spam down Blight on a pack of enemies, and that be able to spread, and Blight ramps as you damage. Like, hold it down more because it's a channeled skill. Something I would really love to play around with and see what happens there. So that's my plan for Trickster. High evasion, high energy shield, a lot of safety with Spellbreaker. That one also should be fun. For Saboteur, a returning build from last league that I did not get to play, I want to play Spellslinger, Bladefall, Blade Blast. Probably take Bomb Specialist as the last thing here, but the idea is to use trigger bots to make duplicated copies of my Spellslinger Bladefall, so both of the Bladefalls will come from the trigger bots, something I did with Frostbolt in Crucible League. I want to do that with Bladefall instead, and you get the cooldown recovery rate so that you can get the Spellslinger off more, and it's pretty mana costly, but you get Bored in the Shadows for some tankiness and chance for more area damage. I think would work well here as well. Something I think would be a lot of fun to play. Haven't gotten around to it yet, so that is on the list. Up next is Deadeye. I league started with Deadeye last league playing Power Siphon. That went alright, wasn't amazing. But this league, I kind of have Spectral Throw on the brain, so what I would like to do with a Deadeye is play an Elemental Spectral Throw build, increase effect of marks, get the Gale Force, get the additional projectiles. So once you get the projectiles from here, the one from the tree, you can have 4 projectiles on the Spectral Throw without needing to add projectiles. So you can use all of your gem links for damage. It's a build that I played before. It's very strong, great league starter. I think I made a build guide on that at the end of Trial of the Ancestors League, or maybe it was the league before, I don't remember. But I've played this, and it's something I would like to explore again if I were to league start on Deadeye. For Pathfinder, I also want to play Poisonous Concoction. Though if I play Pathfinder, I want to use the new Poisonous Concoction of Bouncing, which causes additional projectiles to increase the number of bounces that it does. And I don't know how this is going to work. I'd have to experiment with it, but that is the plan. Go with Pathfinder and probably something looking like that. You get the extra life recovery to buff the damage of Poisonous Concoction. Do lots of big poison stuff, more Plague Bearer action there. But this one, I absolutely want to go after the new transfigured version. Then for Raider, I've thought about playing Fire Trap, very similar to the Elementalist. It's really easy to do, something I've done before. You don't get quite the AoE, but you get the free exposure and easier access to Duration of Burning Ground with Raider, so it kind of works itself out. But I have changed my mind. that I would like to instead play Lightning Strike. Almost every single time I play Raider, I end up playing some kind of Toxic Rain, Caustic Arrow build, or some elemental spell damage. I want to go with an attack Raider build this time, not use a bow, and I've never played Lightning Strike, ever. So I think this is what the tree would look like here. Stack lots of Frenzy charges, and mess around with Lightning Strike. Let's see what I can do with it. There's even a transfigured Lightning Strike of Arcing now, which I guess chains to enemies. Maybe I can mess around with that, or maybe just stick with the normal good old Lightning Strike and see what I can make happen with that. Another new skill for me to explore, and Raider is my favorite class. So looking at the full list, there's a lot of fun things that I could do. All of them I would be happy playing. Probably the thing I'm least actually interested in on the whole list is Absolution Guardian. That's the one that if I were to pick to remove from the list, it would be that, but I picked one for each Ascendancy. But I don't know that I could pick. There's so many things that I would love to play around with, and as I continue exploring all the crazy different things in this game, I'm trying to think, like, if I were to pick one, what would I pick? Probably the Elementalist Fire Trap. Mostly because I kind of have the itch to play Fire Trap, but I really want to play Blight of Contagion. I really want to play Bladefall Blade Blast. I really want to play as Poison Spectral Throw Assassin. I've never played with Dark Pact. I've never played Lightning Strike. Poison Concoction of Bouncing, that seems cool. Elemental Spectral Throws, like, go-to league starter for me. Glacial Cascade Totems, what is that? Maybe. Firestorm Repelting sounds cool. Never played Righteous Fire in the endgame. Rage stacking for spells, that would be awesome. Still never played Bone Shatter, and I hear that is an amazing league starter. Self-cast Exsanguinate still just tickles my brain, and I would love to see that happen. Bleed Bow, never played it. Lightning Arrow of Electrocution Totems, that seems like it'd be crazy to pull off. And then playing Rain of Arrows on a league start on a Slayer, who doesn't love the idea of that? So, like I mentioned, you can comment in the comments below this video to pick an Ascendancy, and that will add one wedge to the wheel for the start of Necropolis League. I am excited regardless of what gets chosen, but I will leave it up to you and the RNG of the wheel. And that's going to do it for this video. I hope you join me on my journey through Necropolis League. I will be uploading videos just about every day, going over what happened and how my characters progress as we go throughout the league. But with that, I'd like to thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, definitely hit the like button, as it really helps the channel out a lot. Subscribe to make sure you don't miss more videos from me. If you'd like to help support my channel, please consider using the super thanks, the heart icon just below the video, or by joining to become a member. And I'll see you on the next one. Cheers.